My boyfriend, 28M, has a weird relationship with a 20F who claims she is like a daughter, and I, 31F, finds it peculiar. So my boyfriend, let's call him Alex, is 28, and we've been together for about 3 years now. Everything has been great between us. Normal relationship ups and downs, sure, but nothing alarming. That is, until recently. There's this girl, she's 20 years old, and let's call her Emma. She's someone Alex met about a year ago through a mutual friend. At first, I didn't think much of it. Alex is a friendly guy, and he has a lot of connections through work and hobbies. But things have gotten weird, and I'm starting to feel uncomfortable and, frankly, a bit suspicious. Here's the thing. Emma calls Alex dad. She refers to herself as his daughter, and while they're not biologically related and clearly not family, the dynamic between them is so odd, it's starting to make my skin crawl. I get that people can have non-traditional relationships and some people are close with others in unique ways. But this feels different. It feels wrong, but when I bring it up to Alex, he brushes it off like it's totally normal. He'll say things like, "She's just like a daughter to me," or "She doesn't have a good father figure and I'm trying to be a positive influence in her life." The first time I met Emma was at a small gathering at a friend's house. She seemed nice enough, maybe a bit overly affectionate with Alex, but I chalked it up to her just being a bubbly, extroverted person. But then I started noticing little things. She would text him constantly. I'm talking first thing in the morning, late at night, and everything in between. They had these inside jokes, and she'd refer to him as dad in front of everyone, which made people uncomfortable. They'd laugh awkwardly, and I could see some side glances from friends, like they were wondering the same thing I was. What's really going on here? I'm not saying Alex is cheating or anything, at least I don't think he is. But the relationship just doesn't sit right with me. It's like there's this weird emotional intimacy between them that feels inappropriate, especially given the age difference. I mean, 8 years isn't that much in the grand scheme of things, but when one person is 28 and the other is barely 20, it feels off. There's also the fact that Emma seems to rely on Alex for everything. If she has a problem, she calls him. When she's upset, he's the first person she turns to. She'll text him things like, "I need you," or "I don't know what I'd do without you, Dad." It's like she's emotionally dependent on him in a way that makes me uncomfortable, and honestly, I don't think it's healthy for her or for our relationship. I confronted Alex about it a few months ago, and he got really defensive. He told me I was being paranoid, that I didn't understand the situation, and that I needed to be more compassionate toward Emma because she didn't have a stable family growing up. He said he was just trying to be a good role model for her, to show her what a healthy, supportive relationship with a man looks like. But it's not his job to be her surrogate father, right? He's my boyfriend, and our relationship should come first. What really tipped me over the edge was when Emma came over to our apartment one day without warning. I had no idea she was coming, and Alex didn't mention it either. She just showed up, acting like it was totally normal. I was in the middle of getting ready for work, and suddenly she's in our living room, curled up on the couch, talking to Alex about her day as if she lived there. Alex didn't seem bothered at all. He acted like this was completely acceptable, even though I was standing there, clearly uncomfortable. Later that night, when I asked him why Emma felt so comfortable just walking into our space, he shrugged it off again. He said something like, she needed someone to talk to. It's not a big deal, but to me, it is a big deal. It's my home too, and I didn't invite her into it. It feels like Alex doesn't respect my boundaries or our relationship when it comes to Emma. I've tried to distance myself from her, but it's hard because she's always around. She's at our social gatherings, she's texting Alex non-stop, and she even started tagging him in emotional posts on social media, like "so grateful to have a dad like you in my life." Every time I see one of those posts, it makes my stomach churn. I'm not a jealous person by nature, but this whole situation has my anxiety through the roof. What really threw me for a loop was a conversation I had with one of Alex's friends. We were at a party, and after a few drinks, his friend mentioned that the whole dad-daughter thing between Alex and Emma creeped him out too. He said he'd brought it up with Alex once, kind of jokingly, and Alex got really defensive. His friend said he dropped it because he didn't want to start drama, but it made me realize I'm not the only one who thinks this is weird. If other people are noticing it too, maybe my feelings are valid. So now I'm stuck. I love Alex, I really do, but I don't know how to navigate this situation. Every time I bring it up, he makes me feel like I'm overreacting or being unreasonable. I've even questioned myself. Maybe I am being too harsh. Maybe he really is just trying to help her. But then I think about how this makes me feel, and it's not good. I feel like I'm playing second fiddle to some girl who's not even part of our family, but who's acting like she's a major part of Alex's life. There was this one incident that still bothers me. A few weeks ago, I asked Alex if we could spend the weekend together, just the two of us. We hadn't had much quality time lately, and I thought it would be a nice way to reconnect. He agreed, but on Friday evening, just as we were about to leave for a little weekend getaway, Emma called. She was crying, saying she had a big fight with her roommate and didn't know where to go. Instead of suggesting she stay with another friend or even just giving her some advice over the phone, Alex told me we needed to stop by her place and pick her up. He invited her to stay with us for the weekend. Just like that, our couple's getaway turned into a weekend with Emma, who was constantly in tears and clinging to Alex for emotional support. I was furious, but didn't want to cause a scene in front of her, so I kept quiet. But inside, I was screaming. At this point, I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to give Alex an ultimatum. Either he sets boundaries with Emma, or I'm out. But another part of me doesn't want to come off as controlling or insecure. I don't want to be that girlfriend who tells her partner who he can and can't talk to. I want to trust him, but how can I when he's acting like this is all perfectly normal when it clearly isn't? I've thought about reaching out to Emma directly, but I'm not sure how that would go. What do I even say? Hey, can you stop calling my boyfriend Dad and maybe give us some space? That sounds ridiculous, but it's how I feel. It's not my job to manage their relationship, but I also feel like I need to protect my own boundaries. In the end, I just want to know if I'm being unreasonable. Am I overreacting, or is this genuinely weird? I'm torn between trusting my gut, which tells me something is definitely off, and trying to be understanding of a complex situation. But at the same time, I feel like I'm being gaslighted into thinking my feelings are invalid. So what do I do here? How do I approach this without blowing up my relationship? Should I trust Alex, or is it time to reevaluate where this is going? I'm open to any advice because at this point, I'm completely lost.